Death? Well, was it an accident or suicide? What?
How well did you know her, Dan?
Look, Rafe, I don't know how she ended up dead.
Would you just go with me on this?
All right. I didn't know her. I saw her once, and aside from what Allison told me, I just knew her from what I read in The Intruder.
Yeah, she made some disparaging remarks about Allison in that article, didn't she?
Yeah, it got me really mad. It got Allison really upset, too. I mean, as soon as the publicity dies down around the mission, something kicks it up again.
So Allison asked you to go to Statesville to talk to Susan Bates about the article?
No, that was my idea. I figured an objective outside person could, you know, get it through her head that she didn't need to bring Allison down with her.
But you didn't get anywhere, did you?
No, she was a very infuriating person, Rafe. She was still spouting the gospel according to Mitchell Lawrence when I went to see her, and anyone who didn't listen was an enemy.
So the argument got hot.
Oh, yeah. I mean, we were yelling at each other, you know. I don't usually go off like that, but she really made me flip.
Yo, how did it end up?
Well, I don't know. She threatened me or something, maybe, and she was crazy, Rafe. She was off the wall. I just wrote her off as a crazy. I told Allison that there was no hope that Susan Bates would ever see the truth about Lawrence.
When did you see her again?
Susan, never. Why are you asking me all these questions anyway?
Dan, are you certain you didn't see her last night at the back street when you were looking for Allison's charm?
Yeah, why?
She was murdered at the back street. And the blood on your shirt matches her blood.
Oh, wait a minute. You don't think I murdered her, do you? And you're sitting here sincerely asking me if I beat her and strangled her to death?
Dan, I have to ask you. Right now, we have no other witnesses. No one linked to this crime except you. Now, you broke into an abandoned bar.
To find the charm on the bracelet.
And maybe when you broke into that bar, you found Susan Bates hiding out there. But I didn't. And you said you were going to call the police, and she tried to stop you. A struggle broke out, and then...
Rafe, come on, you're making up a story. It's all fiction. Maybe you should write novels instead of knocking on people's doors.
You should be happy I knocked, and not Lieutenant Moore. He would have hauled you down to the station house, Byron. I'm not saying that you committed the murder.
Then why the scenario?
Because it's conceivable, and I have to check it out.
Well, am I beyond suspicion now? I mean, it's obvious I didn't know that she was dead until you told me.
Dan, I want you to think very hard when you were sneaking into the building. Did you see anyone else, even for a moment?
I got there, and I stood quietly for about a second, and, you know, checking to make sure no one was there. I didn't want anyone to call the police.
Someone did.
Well, could it be whoever murdered her?
No, it was a woman walking her dog.
Oh, Rafe, I didn't even see any people or any dogs.
She saw you picking the lock.
Rafe, I'm getting more confused here. I mean, when you got there was no dead body, right?
Right. She was buried behind the back street.
So what did I do? I killed her, dragged her out to the back, dug a grave, buried her, then go back in the bar? For what?
To clean up the blood, the fingerprints.
Oh, come on, Rafe. Killers think that way. I don't think that way. I mean, even if it did happen, I would have run so fast. I mean... Bury a body, clean up?
I believe you, Dan. I do. I think you were genuinely shocked when I told you about Bates' death. I think your whole story is the truth.
Well, thank the Lord. I mean, you were really scaring me there for a minute, you know?
That still doesn't mean you're off the hook.
Why?
Because other people in the department and the DA's office may not believe you. So don't leave town. And I think it'd probably be a good idea for you to contact the lawyer. I'll be in touch.
Well, in case you're right, and it is all linked together, it's another good reason to be in here and not out on the cell block.
I'm just as vulnerable in here.
No, because we have pretty much free access to you in here. Look, Dorian, you can't accidentally get into a fight with a bunch of cons in here and then accidentally get killed.
Yeah, but at least out there I've got Tiny to protect me. Cassie, did she go? I mean, has she gone to Vienna?
Yeah, and Joy went with her.
Oh, good. I mean, good. It's funny, I miss her already.
She called from the airport again, wanted me to assure her one last time that you wanted her to leave, and I told her one last time that you really wanted her to go.
I do. Makes me feel more alone, though. Like I don't have any family.
Well, does an ex-husband count?
You just bet an ex-husband counts. And I hope he knows how I could never have gotten through this without him. I hope he knows how much I adore him. And I really appreciate his support.
Yeah, he knows that. By the way, I had an interesting chat with Judith Sanders earlier. Now she agrees that you should be moved to minimum security.
Ah, the prosecuting machine is recomputing,
Well, she has to be wondering a little.
She wouldn't wonder if she could hear Miss Lawrence's tape.
Yeah, well, let's just hope it turns up in the police search. Miss Perkins.
Mr. Carlson? Mrs. Lord? Oh, no. I want you to call me Dorian, because you and I are going to have a very intimate little chat.
On what subject?
The one we were just talking about. Thank you very much for coming by. I will call you if I get any new information.
Yes, well, all right. I'll see you soon.
Bye.
How are you?
Oh, I'm a lot better than your friend Susan Bates.
She's not my friend.
Oh, really? even back before I killed Mitch Lawrence, back in those cozy little days at the Waterside Inn?
No, not even then. She's out of her mind.
She's not out of her mind anymore. In fact, she's very dead.
Vince, you're late. Traffic. How does it look in there? It's fine. There's no sign that the cops know that there's going to be a meeting in there later. Did you plant the tape in Dan Rolick's apartment?
Vince, I'm beginning to resent your tone, you know, like you're the boss.
Look, do you want to be pinned for this murder or not?
No. It's just why the hell does Dan have to be the fall guy?
Because he was in the wrong place at the wrong time. It's as simple as that. Now, did you or did you not plant the tape that Susan Bates had on?
Yeah, I planted the tape.
Look, I'm beginning to wonder if you're too soft for this game.
The game was supposed to be drugs and making money, not murder.
Look, I had to get rid of her. Just relax. You're never going to do any time with an ambassador and a lawyer for parents.
Dead?
Quite. Murdered.
Oh, who did it?
They don't know. Now, Allison, did Susan come and see you when she escaped from prison?
Oh, no, of course not.
Oh, don't act like that's impossible. After all, the two of you were disciple buddies at one time.
I was the one who called for help when she tried to burn your daughter and Rob at the stake, remember? She was murdered?
Yes.
Oh, dear Lord, we were just a little group of people that wanted to make the world a better place to live. And then within a few short months, well, the world is slightly worse off now, isn't it?
Some of us are more than just slightly worse off. All right, assuming that what you're telling me is the truth, are there any other ex-disciples that Susan would have trusted?
About what? I mean, if you could...
About Mitch's tape.
That is impossible. I took all of the tapes. I burned them. You must believe that.
No, you didn't get rid of them all. There was another tape that Mitch had. He was recording the time that he had Kathy in the room and that he drugged her and he was trying to rape her. It was even running when she tried to get away from him. And he knocked her unconscious and I came into the room and stopped him. Yes, that's right. You never did believe that version of the story, did you?
I realized that maybe there was a possibility that you and Kathy were telling the truth about what happened.
If you could hear that tape, it would erase any doubts that you have. I had that tape in my hand, but Susan got it away from me. She was keeping it here in jail with her. Isn't that ironic? Don't you think Brother Mitch would have gotten a great big laugh out of that?
There is no need to do that. There is no need to keep pointing out what a rotten person he was, or what a stupid fool I was. Don't you think I feel ashamed about what happened? Don't you think a single day doesn't go by when I'm so ashamed that I just want to die?
I'm sorry that I was so sarcastic with you, but this is really vitally important to me. So, Allison, think hard. Are there any other ex-disciples who Susan would have trusted with that tape?
I don't remember her having any close friends at the mission.
Which means that she might have hid the tape before she was killed. And how in the world am I ever going to find it?
I could call some people. I could call some of the ex-disciples.
Thank you.
Well, now, I don't know if it's going to be of any help. But listen, if there is anything that I can do for you when you get out of prison...
Find the tape. Now. Just find the tape.
All right.